Hi everybody, I'm Sherry Cox. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Tonight I'd like to share with you a card that I saw at convention demonstrated by Kim Williams. I love the effects of this card. It is done with embossing powder and spritzed with water so that when you touch it, it kind of feels like a rough or almost like the fruity effect. This is the card that I designed, and then I'd like to share with you some of the cards that Kim made, and I have tried to duplicate some of hers. That is one with the peach, and that, if you feel it, it just feels like a little peach fuzz on there. And then this is one very similar to that Kim did. So let's get started. The stamp set that we're going to be using tonight is called Fresh Fruit, and it's found on page 148 and 149 of the new Stampin' Up! Catalog, and it's in the Fruit Stand Suite. Now this stamp set also has some beautiful matching designer series paper, which is found on page 173, and that's called the Fruit Stand Designer Series paper. It's got some beautiful patterns in there. So the first thing I did was I took a piece of pear cardstock, and that is cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And then what I have done is I have scored it at 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to fold this in half, take my bone folder so I can get a nice crisp edge on that. This paper I have already pre-cut. This top piece, the pear, is 4 inches by 2 1/2, and the bottom is 4 inches by 3 inches. And then what I've done is I have taped those two pieces together, and then I have a piece of this beautiful new ribbon. I'm not sure quite of the pronunciation, but it's called ruched ribbon, and this one is done, this color is it's peekaboo peach. Beautiful, beautiful ribbon. So I've cut a piece of that, and we'll adhere that to the card. I've already pre-done this just so the video's not quite so long. Just try to get that spaced evenly. There. Okay, then what we'll do next is we'll take a piece of more designer series paper, and this one is cut at 2 inches by 4 1/2. Then we'll take the banner punch, and I will put this piece of paper all the way in, and I like to turn it around to make sure it's got all the way to this edge right here. Punch that out, and you've got your little points. Then I'll grab some dimensionals. We'll put it on the back. I use every piece of these dimensionals, I'll tell you. Even when it gets down to hardly anything, that whole sheet is used up. Okay, so then we'll peel these off, and we'll attach it to the card front. Okay, so maybe we'll peel them off. Here we go. One more. And what I'll do is I'll put that just about in the middle there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black archival ink and the thank you, because I'm going to make this into another thank you. It seems like I always need thank you cards. And I'm going to stamp that right down towards the edge. Okay, got our little thank you done. Then we'll take a piece of watercolor paper, my pear stamp, and I'm going to stamp that in Hello Honey. And I'll take my old olive, and I'm just going to take my sponge dauber around the edge just to give it some dimension and a shadow look. And I'll stamp that towards the very bottom there. And when you see this little part that doesn't look like it took effect, that's the way the stamp is made. That circle with the watercolor paper is cut out with this layering circles, the brand new one, and it's this second piece right here that I used to cut that out. Next we'll do the leaves. Again, I'm going to use old olive, stamp it up in that. I'm going to take garden green with my dauber, go around this outside. Stamp the top of the pear. All right. I'll grab my water bottle, and we are going to spritz this. 1 or 2 squirts, it just depends. And I think with that, I'm just going to do the 1 squirt. Next comes the embossing powder. You're going to get that on there fairly thick. Tap it off. Set the rest aside so it doesn't blow on there. Pick up your heat tool gun, and you're just going to melt that embossing powder right into that watercolor paper. And you're going to see it starting to turn here fairly quick. And please remember, these heat guns get very, very hot, so watch your fingers. And sometimes I'll just take a little tool and hold that up away from my hands. You can see it starting to melt there on the leaf, and then right on that right side. When you see a nice shine on there, then you know that's done. I'm going to grab my outline for the pear stamp, stamp it in black archival, try to match it up as best I can there. Then the leaf also has an outline to it. Stamp that. Beautiful. And this can be attached with dimensionals. And it'll be ready to go onto your card. And I'm going to mount that right about towards the bottom there. Then I'm going to grab my pearls. And I've already colored some of those in with the Stampin' Marker. And this one is in the Peekaboo Peach. These Stampin' Markers have a thicker tip and a thinner tip. And I just used the thicker tip. Just went over those quickly like that. And I will grab my piercer. Pull them off of there, and then we'll attach it to the card. Right here on top. And while you are attaching those, if it looks like the paint is going to come off, then I'll just go over them again when they're done. All right, there we go, our beautiful embossed fruit card. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll enjoy, and I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you join me again. Thank you very much.